Okay, you can see that we've done the shower tile, and man, this is cool. We got some glass, sea glass looking stuff for the floor mosaic, and then that's a square pattern, and this is a rectangular pattern for the trim or feature strip, whatever you want to call it. I stacked this subway tile instead of doing it in the bond run, so I think it looks pretty cool. And you can see we got a niche here. Now what I've done is I'm kind of trimming this out with PVC, which is exterior trim material. What's good about it is that you can sand it and cut it like wood, but it's plastic and it's flexible. You can see I'll bend it here. But what's great about that is you can't kill it, and I've used this for the threshold. I've sloped it back into the shower a little bit, and I've rounded these edges a little bit right here too, and I'm going to piece this all together and glue it with my great rubber glue, part of that Schluter system. So this is turning out really cool. So this is the product I was telling you about. It's real rubbery. I'm going to have to do this with one hand and hold the camera, but it's very rubbery. I'm going to pull this piece off. You can see how rubbery it is, but what's great about that is that it'll move, but it also holds very well. So that's what I'm going to attach to this Schluter board, the trim pieces that I've been doing. I wanted to show you how the shower turned out. It's really cool. The feature of glass right there is the same kind of glass, if you will, down in the on the floor. And as I showed you in the last video or segment, I should say, this is all PVC right here. So that is very durable, obviously plastic, and worked out well, these details that you see. And I'll caulk this joint, of course, right here, and up there tight to the ceiling, and I think it really turned out well. I wanted to give you an update. You can see here now that I have the bed folded down, the Murphy bed. And this is kind of cool. You can see the seam in the middle between the two pieces of plywood. If you remember, there's a 1x3 underneath that's part of a paneled, motif, if you will, that helps to join those two pieces of plywood together. And then you can see down below what I have set up for the pedestal. I'll show you, and those things fold, but that's what supports the bed. We're having focusing things going on here. Let's get back in focus. There we go. All right, but you see I've run that TNG into the niche, and then at the top there, you see there's a hole where that cover comes off and the mattress folds down, or I say fold down, it's down in that area there. So this is really cool. It's turning out very well, and I'm going to be priming and painting very soon. I wanted to kind of give you an update as to where we are in the construction, and I think what I'll do is just give you a quick walk around of the exterior, and you can see that I've added the decks, or the deck on the other side, and stairs to each side, and that really turned out well. So really, for the first time, you can see how the architecture and the whole kind of design plays out. The double doors, of course, open, both of them, to the outside on each side, and it makes for a lot of space going across, the inside of the tiny house. But you can see how cool this is, at least I think it is. And these decks and stairs really turned out nice. Now I have to stain that pressure treated wood that you see, and I'll show you how I attach these stairs. They're bolted to that deck, and they come off and they'll ride in the truck separately. But we can take again kind of a look at the whole tiny house now. So for the first time, this side has the deck, and you can see, of course, the roof line that covers the window and the double doors. So we'll just keep moving around. You can See the air conditioner there. I may paint that housing because that just is such an eyesore, and probably the worst part of the look of this thing is that air conditioning, which is what it is. I didn't want to do a mini split because this thing is so small and you have to have it. Obviously the air conditioner, and that's heat pump, or it's a AC and heat. You can see my 50 amp service is hooked up, and it's dog bone down to be hooked up to the 20 amp service to the house. You can see the other water heater, the water supply, and of course you can see I've got cable TV hooked up as well. But there you have it, decks on both sides. It's really looking sharp. I'll come over here and I'll see if I can lift this with one hand and show you what I did. So there it is. Just fits in there really nicely, bolted to the deck. And then of course, like I said, I've got a stain. You can see I've started to stain that other portion, but this really looks cool. Worked out real well. I'm doing all this with one hand. So, there we go. But it'll hang level, which is really kind of nice, even if the ground isn't level. Over there I've got a shim on one side because of the unlevel ground, but it really doesn't need to be there. It's just, see it over there on the, right there. But I'll have little blocks for uneven terrain, and I've got these little pads, leveling pads that we can use. Really cool. So coming right along, next thing we'll do is get the interior finished and be ready to